Hello, Internet. My name is Ryan Ingram. I just recently closed on a property and I got it for zero money down. So I didn't pay anything for the property. I officially took possession of it on Monday. So I just wanted to walk you through the numbers, explain the whole no money down process, and discuss the pros and cons of it and see if it's something that is right for you where you are. Because, again, as great as no money down sounds, there are consequences that, I don't think a lot of people talk about. So let's dive right into it. This property, we purchased it for $55,000. I'm going to write this up here so we can all get on the same page. So the purchase price of this property was $55,000. As it is right now, the market rent, it's a 3 bedroom, 1 bath property. The market rent is $795. Fortunately, this property needs no work, so as soon as we took possession of it, we also listed it on the market for rent. After repair value of this property is right around 65,000. As I said, it doesn't need any work, so there's not any repairs that immediately need to be made. Fortunately, we were just able to get a great deal on this property. So immediately, just off the beginning, we've got $10,000 in equity. All right. And then as far as the monthly expenses go, let's just go ahead and start a column here. So we're starting with $795. So we have to stay inside of those parameters um, and make sure that our expenses don't go over that. So I say that we got it for no money down, and I'll explain that. However, we did get this with a Fannie Freddie loan. So we had to put 25% down, which in this case came right around 15,000. And the mortgage payment on that, so the first mortgage, the big expense is $218.30. You've got taxes. That's $104.17. Insurance. Fortunately, I know a guy that sells insurance, so the policy that I wrote was a really good one. That one is $741 a year, or $61.75. And then the property management fee. This is our 62nd property that we purchased, I believe. And a lot of property management companies have tiered percentages that they charge. I think the most common is 10%. Since we have so many properties, we've been able to work our way down to 8%. So 8% of the gross monthly rent, that's $63.30. So those are all of the expenses that we project. A lot of people, if you were to watch other videos, recommend that you budget for capital expenditures, things like roofs, water heaters, furnaces, things like that, and also repairs and maintenance. I personally don't include those in determining whether or not a property is a good deal to purchase. And the reason for that is the number of properties that we have, we just really play off the law of averages or the law of large numbers. So the cash flow from our properties collectively can generally sustain the repairs, maintenance, and the capital expenditures. However, a general rule of thumb is to allocate 10% for the capital expenditures and also 10% for the repairs and maintenance. So far, for all of these expenses, we're up to $447.82. And then, that leaves us with the difference, 795 minus the 447. But let's talk about the property for a second. So how I found this property, I met this couple around 2 years ago through just like another real estate investing network meeting. And I purchased a property from them um, 2 years ago. It was the third property that I personally purchased, and I think it was a pretty good deal. We bought that one for, the details don't matter on that, but I've already purchased one property from this couple, and that was the third property that I purchased. I was very clear with, the fact that I'm new to real estate investing. I really enjoy it. I'm looking to acquire a lot more properties. If they ever hear anything, please let me know. Also, I write insurance, so if you need any insurance on your properties, by all means, let me know. So, shortly thereafter, they became an insurance client and we kept in touch. She has several other properties. Her and her husband are looking to slowly exit the real estate investing arena. So, a few weeks ago, she gave me a call and said that she's looking to sell another property, and she asked me if I was interested. Running through the numbers very quickly, I was. However, we currently have 8 or 9 open rehab projects, so I wasn't really looking forward to depart from much of our cash that we have in the bank. So I asked her if she was open to any sort of creative strategies to get this thing financed. She just asked me to put up a few different options and see, and she would let me know if she was interested. So ultimately, what we decided is the first property that we purchased, we did traditional financing as well with a local bank. Quick little sidebar, I've always found local banks to be the best to work with, your small credit unions. So that's who this loan was through. We put 75, the loan was 75% of the purchase price. I put 25% down. It was 2 years ago. It's in a great area. That property has appreciated a good bit. So there's a lot of equity in that property. So what we did is the seller and I, since she was already familiar with that property as she's owned it for several years, what we did is we created a second mortgage on that first property. So the second mortgage is for a total of $15,000. What we did is we amortized this loan. So we amortized the second mortgage over 10 years, and we gave her an option. It's not a balloon after 3 years, but after the third year, at any given time, she can elect to call the note in full. So, I don't know if you would consider that a pro or con, but again, we're talking about 15,000. If she chooses to call that note, it wouldn't be hard for us to come up with the 15 grand to give her. Another important part about this second mortgage is that it's at 10%. So I'll just throw that right over here. 10% at 10 years. So the total monthly payment comes out to be $198. So, since we already have a separation of the gross monthly rent, which is $795, our current expenses total $447. So that leaves us with around $350 per month in cash flow. So now with the creation of the second mortgage, we are still able to cash flow positive after you subtract this. So 198. We're going to add it here, and we come up with $645.82. My whole office is full of whiteboards. I'm a huge sucker for them, so I've already kind of cheated a little bit and did all the math. So don't think I'm over here doing math on the fly. But now we're at $645. So for intents and purposes, we're at $795. So approximately $150 is what we have left over. So as I mentioned earlier, a lot of people, a lot of the gurus want to teach the no money down, and those gurus that do teach that probably wouldn't consider this to be the greatest of deal, because if you include the capital expenditures and the repairs and maintenance at 10% each, let's just round up and say $80 for CapEx, and then $80 for repairs and maintenance, then we're at 160. So in reality, one could argue that we are losing $10 per month by doing this deal. However, as I mentioned, we wanted to orchestrate the deal in this manner because at the moment, with our 8 to 9 rehab projects outstanding, we thought it would be best to keep as much of our cash on hand as possible so that we could, get through this COVID crisis and also not stop working on our current projects so that we can get those rented out as well. So there is no prepayment penalty on this second mortgage that we created. However, we're probably not going to pay it off early, or at least before the 3 year mark. Again, just because with our total portfolio, again, like I mentioned, we're at 63 properties now. We're able to subsidize this deal based on the cash flow of the rest of our portfolio. So again, that's why I generally don't account for these capital expenditures and repairs and maintenance. But now that I have gone over the numbers of all of this, let's cut to the property, and I would really enjoy walking you guys through the property. So currently, we're here in the living room. We've got a nice fireplace, ceiling fan, new flooring. And this property really doesn't need much work. We're gonna have to touch up the paint in some areas. You see here that there's just, the paint's a little bit scratched up. But this is the formal dining room area. We've got the fun arched doorways. I'm a huge fan of seeing these on the older homes. And we've got a fun kitchen with like a butcher block countertop. It's a narrow kitchen, but that's honestly a little bit okay. A lot of these older small homes have really small kitchens. Here's one of the bedrooms. The original old doors and the door hardware. So these are fun. The old, some of them have crystal balls, but these actually have like really cool workings around them. The crystal door handles are some of my favorites when I find properties that have those. Here's the second bedroom downstairs. Again, good carpet, good paint, good ceiling fan. Fun doors. Again, I just really love these older doors. Here's the bathroom that's recently been remodeled. I think it was remodeled in 2015 or so. We've got the fun built-in cabinets, medicine cabinet, a simple vanity, good toilet, good shower, tub, and surround. So that's great. And then in some of these older homes as well, there is a finished attic. People came around at a later time and finished the attic. So there's technically a third bedroom up here, a bunch of space, a small little closet, and really just a good place to live. They've also got the electric baseboard heating here. And there's the small closet. The basement on this property is also in really good shape. It's got a newer furnace, a trusty Rheem furnace. It also has central air on the outside. We've got the new PEX plumbing here. You can tell because it's blue. And of course that runs all the way over to the hot water heater, which is also in really good shape. And then the hot water becomes red. It's really hard to mess up with PEX plumbing. So the water heater's in good shape. It's a really dry basement. You can see the updated electric. Where is that electric panel? Huh. Oh, we're gonna find it. Oh, that's fun. I think I see it. I'm wondering if they were so cool. Yes. Look at all those yellow wires running right to this box. Now that's cool. A little electrical panel hideout. So the panel looks pretty good. You've got the new Romex wire. So it's a solid house for $55,000. We got into this property with no money down, purely based on a relationship. All right, internet. So now we've gone over the numbers, we've walked around the property, and I've explained how and why I got into this property with no money down. So what are your thoughts? I would like to hear them. You can comment, you can email me, whatever's best for you. Any questions, comments, concerns, anything you saw that you liked or didn't like, let me know. I'd be happy to continue the discussion. And when you're analyzing a single family home and you're putting it inside of your portfolio, while the individual property's performance is incredibly important, it's also really wise to figure out how this property is going to perform inside of your existing portfolio. So as you saw, this was a phenomenal property. It has very little deferred maintenance. We were able to get a little bit of equity inside the property. So we thought it was a really good deal. We did not want to pass up on this property because it is a good deal. And when we have our 30-year lens on, or we're looking things at a very long-term perspective, this property is going to perform wonderfully over the next 30 years. So we didn't want to pass up on it. But at the same time, we have all of our existing properties that we do have under rehab at the moment that are going to require a pretty good amount of capital and time. So we wanted to stay very liquid, but we also really wanted this deal. So we got a little bit creative and we made it happen. But again, you saw the potential downside of the negative cash flow. If you include the capital expense and repairs and maintenance, which you have to. But I found that if you're looking at properties from an absolute cash flow perspective, then again, globally, you can be positive while individual homes are negative on a monthly basis. So I really appreciate it. Thanks. That was really fun for me to be able to explain how we did it, why we did it, and just get to share the joy of providing a family a nice home to live. If you like that video, please let me know. Please hit the like button below and also subscribe. That would be really helpful to me, and I would really love to do a lot more of these. So look forward to talking to you soon, and go out and buy some homes, make some money, and build wealth.